Hello and good evening. Welcome to the No Exit Podcast. I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me. But this evening with us in studio, we have Vanessa, we have Richard, we have Brian, we have Sal, Kenny, and Tom on technical.
We got Kenny.
Do we have anybody zooming in? I don't see anyone. But now that we've identified everyone, what?
Well, is this the lineup? These are the mugshots?
Something like that.
So I'll give you the premise of the show. I'll say it in French and then I'll say it in English so you can get the idea of what's going on here. Alors c'est l'enfer, je n'aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, le feu et le souffle, la main brûlante, des histoires de bonnes femmes. Pas besoin de te soigner, chauves en rouge. L'enfer c'est les autres. So this is hell. I'd never have believed it. You remember all we were told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marl, old wives' tales. There's no need for red-hot pokers. Hell is other people. So, that being said, that's our thesis for the next hour. We're going to talk like we are going crazy. So, the first topic this evening is one that I wanted, because I have a very gentle joke. Because Richard is I know he sent me a comment about not doing your stuff, but I thought that's opposite what he does, because he's a socialist, communist sort of type that everybody works
That's what he likes to pretend to be.
So it was dyslexic workers of the world, untie. But that's just a gentle reminder.
International Weirdos of the World?
No, that made me think of... no, that's the Wobblies. It made me think of bullying, because why would people bully when you were in junior high or in middle school?
For existing?
Well, one thing is, do you get beaten at home? Is it displacement? Dad beats you, so you go and hassle somebody else. Another is, do you have a conduct disorder? Are you oppositional defiant, and that's why you do it? Or are you dyslexic and you're frustrated, and that's why you have trouble doing the schoolwork, so you figure, I can punch this kid, it'll make me feel better about myself.
I got a point. Back at All Saints School, the kids were all getting screwed by the priest and getting molested, so they were all nuts from that, and they would displace their anger from that onto the other kids who weren't altar boys, who weren't getting screwed by the priest.
There was a couple kids that I went to school with.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Is your mic on?
Turn up yellow.
It's on.
Turn up yellow. Turn it up.
Right.
Turn it up like Freedom Rock. Is that Freedom Rock you're playing? We'll turn it up. Freedom Rock contains hits by Kid Rock.
Right.
Lee Greenstick.
Talk now.
No?
What? Say it.
Okay, so a couple kids in school, one of them, he used to clown class, can't remember any names, bully people.
John Gacy.
Turned out he was super shy, and that was his way of
That's a good song.
asking for attention.
Yeah. Well, there was a kid I know that wasn't dyslexic, because he had handwriting that was almost calligraphic, and
Ooh, it sounds
his name was
pornographic.
Tyler. Now, what?
Pornographic?
Shh. No, calligraphic. Calligraphy is fine writing. It's not people naked. So get your mind out of the gutter, or stay right there in the mud, because you're good at it.
I'm great at it.
But that's the thing, that I know that Tyler wasn't. He was just a dick.
Yeah.
So that's why, that people, and that's why the people that they don't grow up, or they peak when they're right there, and then the rest of their life is downhill. And that's unfortunate, but water finds its level.
Like
But
Glory
that's the thing
Days
about
from
bullying.
the song Glory Days.
Glory hole?
No, stop that. You said you were going to stop that.
All right, then I will then.
Stop that gross, disgusting shit. You make me make my skin crawl. Oh,
I can do that without talking, I thought.
well, no. But, so that's why, but yeah, that's what it is. And Billy Joel said in 1985, the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. We're in the good old days right now.
Yeah.
Because now in life, if somebody bullies you, you can just walk away.
Right. It's not like it used to be, where you didn't know what to do, you froze.
Yeah, and you know where to go.
Like the
Right.
Sisters of Mercy song, Walk Away.
No. Do you have anything to add to bullying, Sal?
Just that when I was young, excuse me, when I was young and I heard in Sunday school, doing to others you have them doing to you. And I thought, I really liked that a lot. And I thought, so I went back to my grammar school, and there's all the kids outside picking on each other. And I'm thinking, didn't they go to Sunday school? Didn't they learn anything?
Right.
And then I went on a multiple path where I thought maybe I wasn't understanding it correctly. Maybe everyone else was right.
Oh, the reverse of everyone else is wrong. I'm right. Well,
No, everyone else is right and I'm wrong.
yeah, but I mean that's the reverse.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about Anton Shandor LaVey. Also known
Ooh,
as
he's delightful.
No, he isn't. Howard Stanton Levy, who was a shyster. He was not delightful. He was a prickly, nasty,
Hey,
mean man.
Zena LaVey is
But,
the reincarnation of Taylor Swift or something like that, you know?
That, the reason why he started the Satanic Church was he would see the guys out drunk on Saturday night, and then Sunday morning he would be playing the organ in the church, and he'd see them there. And so he thought this mass hypocrisy says, I should start worshiping Satan.
Yeah, his organ records are pretty horrible. I had a couple of them.
So, do you have anything on bullying, Richard? Kenny?
Hey,
Anything?
come on. Got something to say about bullying? You should know about this stuff.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, so then we can.
Let's ask Vanessa.
Oh, she already got
did.
her piece.
Yeah.
She already said her.
I want a piece.
I'll take a piece of you,
Peace pipe.
right out of you. Okay, so
I'd
now
piece
our
pipes.
first topic this day now will be what religions teach about being gay. If you're Jewish, a man lays with a man as he would a woman, he would surely be put to death.
That depends on the interpretation, because the interpretation from 1946 is different than the previous interpretation where it was an older man with a younger boy. It didn't have anything to do with same sex, same age relations originally.
If you look at Romans, Paul talks about men doing unnatural things with each other and women doing the same thing with each other. So he talked about homosexuality specifically in those verses. So
Can you
and-
quote them for us so people know?
Well,
I would like to hear them.
The Greeks were.
You already heard them.
Yeah, but I think the viewers should hear them.
No, the Greeks were openly gay and happy about it. The Romans tolerated it, so it wasn't
Sparta.
as it was.
Spartan style.
No,
I'm listening.
you're not the sausage. You are the worst. So now I don't know what does Islam say about homosexuality.
They don't like it.
We did
Yeah,
some
that's true.
research
That-
on this earlier, Sal and I, and they all pretty much had the same conclusion.
You could be put to death.
No, actually, there's a lot of the talk from the AI's perspective that we looked up was that most religions accepted or are now getting closer to accepting
Yeah.
it. They have a
When
lot
you
of-
say most, like what about the Buddhists or the Hindus? What do they think?
well, I kind of skipped over them because there's not a lot around here. So
There are in
They're-
Hawaii. But
okay, but I mean,
Did you ever go to Amherst?
okay, I'm sorry, but
I mean,
good point.
I didn't have time to read all of them.
but I mean, look at it this way: that
You didn't do your research?
In India,
I did
Hindus
some
are the
research,
majority.
yeah.
The minority are the Muslims, but there are still more Muslims in India than in any other nation in the world.
Right.
They have more Muslims in India than in Indonesia, which is the most Muslim country in the world. That 90% of the 230 or 240 million people in Indonesia are Muslim.
Okay.
But that's why, as I've said before, the Enfield rifle, the problem with it was lubricated with either pork or beef fat in the
sexy.
1850s. And so they had to bite off the end of the cartridge. If you're Muslim, if it's pork, you can't bite it. And if you're Hindu, if it's beef fat, you can't bite it.
Ah,
So it was a total failure
right.
because the white man trying to put his
I
way.
got the solution. Diddy oil.
You said you were going to stop doing that.
The Diddy oil?
I don't know what that is, but
You get it at the gas station.
Oh,
It's good for your car.
who's Joe Labasco?
That's your friend, isn't it?
yes, hi Sal. Hi Joe.
Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Okay, so we don't have a lot of data on this topic. So whoever brought it up kind of fired a blank.
If I shot a
It was
blank.
our friend Paul Dragem who brought it up, and he's not anywhere to be found.
Good.
Fire and forget. That's
Good
shooting,
riddance
shooting
to
blanks.
bad rubbish.
So, how to improve mental health in America? Well, don't be crazy. That's the simplistic,
Deprogram the MAGA cultists.
the conservative viewpoint. Don't be crazy. And if you are, we're going to hide you in the front room, and you'll just never come out. In reality, go ahead.
Sorry, we were talking about this earlier too. I think a lot of it needs to be more personalized to people, not generalized,
Yeah.
and there needs to be a lot more open-mindedness. So, like, if there's a group of people in a rehab or in a psychiatric facility, they're all there for probably different reasons. So, what I'm saying is, instead of releasing them all with generally the same diagnosis or same medications, make it a little more personalized. In a hospital setting, maybe.
Well,
They do that, but the thing is, they don't show enough care and compassion.
Right.
well, but you know
It's
what?
one size
That
fits
some
all.
people, even if you do that for 99 out of 100, the one who is disruptive will screw everybody else up.
Yeah.
So you can have an open mind, not so open that your brains fall out. I mean, it's admirable what you say, but it was like in Coney Island that they had the substance abuse and the psychiatric were together, and one guy said, "I'm a drunk. I'm not crazy."
I'm crazy for alcohol.
No.
No, you're not. I am.
That's a different connotation.
There's an interesting book called Humor During the Third Reich.
No, good Jesus. That's probably one of your favorites.
And there's this joke in there. Hitler visits an insane asylum, and all the patients are standing in front of their bed, and then Hitler walks in the room, and they all stand at attention, right? And so Hitler walks by them, and they go like this every time.
Oh, Charlie Kirk salute. I mean, Elon Musk
just
salute.
don't
Come on.
interrupt Richard. Please stop.
Every time he walks by, right? When he gets to the last, no salute. And he says to the person, "How come all the other patients saluted and you didn't?" And the person says, "Oh, I'm not a patient here. I'm the janitor." The implication, only a crazy person would salute you.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
And well, you know, something to believe. That was another song. Was that on Nebraska? People need something to believe.
The Ramones.
I'm hearing
Something to
somebody.
believe in.
Hey, Mr. Sal Monaco, the great
Hi.
So delightful.
And
Hello,
I'm wearing
Sal
my
Monaco.
I'm wearing my slippers so I can take them off. So here you
yeah.
go. That's just for you, buddy. Tom.
What's up, Sal?
Yeah.
Hi, Sal. So I'm Prez now. So now I'm Prez.
Sal, do you approve that Jason is semi-barefoot today?
Yes, exactly.
Oh goodness.
Sal Likey.
And so, do we have any more about mental health? Who wants to talk about it?
Oh, I
Well-
wanted
well,
to mention
I'm-
this. Go ahead.
Well, I'm a peer. I think I'm no longer a peer specialist, but I was trained as a peer specialist, which is someone who's experienced the mental health field and has experience with it.
Oh,
And I can relate to other people through my own story if it's relevant. But
so you are empathetic, not sympathetic. You're empathetic because you know what they're feeling.
That's exactly. Sympathetic is you understand, but empathetic is you literally relate because you've been through it.
yes. So, and I think there needs to be more of that, and I think they need to pay more attention to what they actually say they believe, because they say that peer specialists should be promoting peer specialists in that the recovery model rather than the medical model. The medical model is about finding out what's wrong and doing something to fix it, where the recovery model is about understanding what a person's strengths are and helping them make their own decisions and to strive to reach their full potential, which is a lot more valiant than the medical model. I think the medical model has this place because I believe certain medications do help. They give you a good baseline, but what you do after you have the baseline is very important.
Well, if you know, there was an interesting episode of Deep Space Nine called Little Green Men, and it was about the Ferengi going back to Earth in the 50s, and they said how crazy the humans were.
Garage door has been open for an hour.
That someone
bad.
has stolen your battery.
My bad. I was leaf blowing earlier.
That the Ferengis were saying these humans are smoking these cancer-causing things, and they are at the tip of nuclear annihilation. How crazy we are! You know, humans weren't worthy to be in the interplanetary community because we were so self-destructive.
And Odo went with them too. And if you remember, they had trouble with their universal translators
Right.
and were hitting themselves in the ear.
Well, and he stuck the finger right in the ear, and put the
Yeah.
screwdriver in there because it was deep in there. I think it was
Yeah.
Ram, or was that Nog?
No, it was Ram. He's the smart one.
Yeah, the brother who got Lita. That's really the thing. Lita was hot.
Yes.
You might have met your match
Yes,
with
you
Sal. He's a aficionado of all the Star Trek episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yes.
He can often tell you the
And,
date that it first aired.
wow.
Wow.
That this symbol this is a Jewish symbol. That's where Leonard Nimoy the first time just put it up as spur of the moment, and that's when it became the live long and prosper. Long life and prosperity. I'm left-handed, but I can't do it on this hand.
Yeah.
But I can do this hand. So whatever.
Well, Corp said that it was great for the Ferengi because they could sell us even poison at the time.
So,
and that's still true to today, unfortunately.
Indeed. So our next topic is, I'd rather go to jail than...
Oh, I wanted to finish on that
go
other
ahead.
topic.
Sorry, I thought we were done.
Okay, so I thought of this topic idea about the mental health when I was reading this article in the New York Times. Because as you know, more and more schools are saying to the kids, leave your phones in a pouch. So it started a nationwide discussion. Should we let children have smartphones at all? Or should we have special smartphones that have no social media on them? And there were two different schools of thought in this.
Flip phone.
That's right. One school of thought is give your kids a special phone that has no social media.
Right.
Then when they turn 18, tell them they can get a phone with social media. But the second viewpoint was the one that really piqued my interest. The person said, leave everything the way it is. Don't put any burdens on anybody that are manufacturing phones. Don't buy a special phone. Just leave everything the way it is. But teach your kids how to think critically, how to sort out the imaginary from the real.
But do you remember Affluenza? The kid who didn't know that he didn't know the right from wrong. He killed 4 people drunk. And then when he was on his... on probation, he got caught drinking again. That rich people are always going to flout that. They're always going to flout that. And social media will always approach the bottom. It won't raise everybody up. Everybody aims towards the bottom. Because people say the stuff that you would keep to yourself, now they're putting it down in words, and it's there forever. Once you put it online, it's there forever.
So what I'd like to ask the panel is, which of those two approaches do you like? Change the technology or just teach people to think more critically?
I think the first one is
I say the
better.
dumb phone, yeah.
Well, let me say this because I have a ninth grader.
Who is that?
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, Celeste.
Oh, hello, Celeste.
Hey.
Hi,
Hi.
Celeste.
How are you?
Yeah, so you have a
Good.
ninth grader.
Yes, who just got a phone. And it took me a long time to decide to do it as a social experiment, but also as a security measure, if you will. They don't have the phone all day in school anymore, but I do have a device on his phone, an app on his phone that allows me to know, if not where he is, where the phone is, and he'll be with the phone. And it also shows travel time on the bus. And I was reticent because I don't like the dependency on the technological aspects that we have with kids so far. But access to how the kids are behaving, we can institute, plan, program, train, conduct, do all we can to help young people determine false facts, what is common sense, what is just ludicrous. But as a natural evolution of a teen person, and I'm using teen because that's who I'm relating to, but I have 2 adult daughters. The ninth grader is my grandson. There's a way that they're going to relate to their peer groups. There's a way that they're going to relate to technology because they're born into it. So I think you do need to have combinations of things. I think a wise parent, if you decide to give a child a phone at a certain age, people who are 8, 9, 10, 11, I really don't believe they should be latching onto technology in terms of a smartphone or anything. Although now they're making them so that they can just have academic programs and not access to the internet. Because my work in human trafficking has allowed me to know that the internet is, a rich field for coercion of young people or even adults. We all know the scams.
And that's what I say. That's why it's aiming towards the lowest.
Well, that is Celeste.
Well, no, because within the trafficking environment, that stretches across classes It stretches across races. It stretches across any kind of value, from the daughter of a Supreme Court judge to a runaway on the other side of the tracks. So deception and coercion do not recognize your status. What they are able to tap into, an algorithm, depending on you know how you use your phone, is how vulnerable and susceptible you may be.
But then,
And the great pretenders are online who can do that.
but they're
so-
coerced. Where do they go? That's the whole point. I understand everything you say, but they're coerced. Who's paying for? Who's the end receiver to the trafficked people? That's what I'm saying. Those are the people with money. Your poor guy can't afford to pay for sex with the underage girl. That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I'm going to say this. You know, if you're paying by the minute, some of these, and I will talk about them because they're in our neighborhood. You know, all you need is a credit card, a Chime card. I mean, you know, some people spend that in the same way they go to a casino. I don't think we should. We're not able to judge who can do what. People take whatever resources they have.
I keep losing the video. What's going on?
Yeah, I know. I see mine going on up to. I'm not really sure what
no,
that
we
is.
see you, Celeste.
We see you.
Oh, but you guys keep flashing because, which
can
is
see you.
kind of
If
weird.
I was flashing, you know it.
If I could, though,
Yeah, he'd be all lit up.
Flashing too.
Yeah. So
not
at a
to-
certain age, you know, if you give a kid a phone, you don't give it to them without, I call it a social experiment. We have consequences and cooperation that go along with this phone. And we have discussions about things on YouTube and the internet. We have discussions about things, you know, and it's really me asking questions and seeing what kind of answers I get back from him. But they're specifically designed to say, how do you know this is fact and how do you know this is fiction? And so I really think that one on its own, one of those options, one or two on their own, is not the answer. But combining these things along with some other strategies, I think should be applied, especially to young people. But because we have such loneliness reigning supreme in our modern culture, I think those same kind of things should be applied to adults as well.
Right, and
Well, go ahead.
to answer Richard's
Greg.
question, as far as addressing the panel, I have two boys, okay, and my older son, who's 16, you know, he gets his phone full time, and then his younger brother, he gets like a couple hours with his phone at nighttime after school. He doesn't keep it on him, whatever. But there's different. It's adapting. It's critical thinking. It's all, you know. There's certain, and there's parental controls on the phone. You know, there's certain
Yes.
things you can do, safety procedures.
Yes.
And then my younger son, you know, he just uses it to watch stuff on YouTube or whatever, but usually his mom's right next to him when they're hanging out. So what I mean is, regardless, with it's 2025, 2026 coming up, everyone's got a phone, and kids are going to want a phone, need a phone. I think need more than want because of trafficking and them walking to school on their own, the store, whatever. I think it's okay to teach them how to use a phone at a young age, so if there's ever an emergency, they know how to use it. That's important. And then when they're old enough to have the responsibility to have a phone, I think that's up to the child's parents to make that decision.
And what if they're only from a one-parent household or they're shuttled between houses?
Right.
That's a breakdown point.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I didn't think about that.
I've seen it from the other angle, that there are multiple ways to view this. Like Celeste has her angle on trafficking. I saw it in the emergency department. There was a girl who thought the boy was joking when he tripped her and kicked her in the leg and broke her leg. Broke her fibula and she thought it was funny. Yeah,
Who did? Who thought it was funny?
The one that had the broken
girl
leg.
who broke her leg. And
Oh, wow.
she thought the boy liked her because he broke her leg. And that was on her
Wow.
phone. And yeah, so I don't see the good in man, but we got to keep on rolling. We don't want to get bogged down in the weeds here. I appreciate that was really good.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Joseph Labasco, for chiming in on this.
And also Paul has joined us remotely. Next is, so I'd rather go to jail than...
There's a problem.
This is going to be fun.
There's a ceasefire in Gaza right now.
Yes.
Do you know-
Okay, now Do you know what immediately preceded that ceasefire?
Donald
40% of Israeli people who were drafted, 40%, 4 out of 10, were saying, I'd rather go to jail than get in the military and go to Gaza.
Yes.
Now, when you have a refusal rate that high, the government has to take notice. Sort of
Yes.
like the Vietnam War. Remember the burning of the draft cards?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear that because also I don't know what percent are drafted because Israeli Arabs and Orthodox don't have to serve in the army. The average Orthodox woman is having 4.1 kids, comparable to the Muslims in Gaza and in the West Bank. But the average not Orthodox or non-religious Israeli having at 1.2 kids. So that's the thing. You have a whole bunch that don't have to be in the army. They can absolutely volunteer, but they don't get drafted. And I don't know how many are conscripted or do their 1 year and get out, you know?
Oh, are you familiar with the 3.5% theory that if 3.5% of the population is against something or takes a stand against something, that's what you need to have impact. That's the magic number.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, 3.5.
3.5.
Yes. Of a large population, not 100.
Yeah, of a large population.
Right.
So what? So I can't think of anything I'd rather to go to jail than to do because jail sucks.
That's why it's that important. Social.
Well, there's two types of jails.
Yeah,
One's a punishment jail, and the other one's a recovery jail.
Oh, I thought you were going to say one is the misdemeanor jail and the other's the felony jail.
No.
Yeah.
One, if it's a punishing jail, there's an 80% recidivism rate. If you're, or it might be 90, and then if you're a recovery jail, there's only a 20% recidivism, a 10 or 20% recidivism rate.
That's fascinating. Now, how many of all the prisons in the U.S., how many would you say are recovery?
I know the percentages. I don't know the number.
Well, I have a counterpoint to that because our security guy at my last hospital retired from the federal system. He was a federal investigator for the prisons. And he told a story of a Catholic priest that got sucked into the deal. He brought a sculpture of Jesus in that was made of cocaine for the prisoner.
Outstanding.
The prisoner in the prison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's who you'd think that. And also, well, we look at the Dannemora story with those prisoners that Richard Mott and what was the other one got in with the woman that they did the escape. Yeah, she was the worker, but I mean that's the thing that if you're antisocial, you can manipulate anybody into anything. So
Well, but rather go to jail for. We have people that went to jail, if you recall, journalists who, rather than break their code as their journalism codes, and in violation of the First Amendment, which we had a lot of respect for then, or some of us still do, that they would rather go to jail than violate those codes and those principles. So, that's the old saying, stand for something, fall for anything.
So there's this problem with ICE right now.
Yes.
When enough people who are involved in ICE say, I'd rather go to jail than go to those cities and do what you say, things are going to start to change.
Well, I think that's the reason why Dumb Donnie will never get the Nobel Peace Prize, because they will say, you can't even control your own country. You say there's an insurrection in your own country. How can you say you're solving peace? Because like in the Congo or in Rwanda, that's like AA or single A ball. That's not major leagues. And all they need is one rocket to come from Gaza into Israel and everything's unwrapped because you can't trust the Hamas leadership. You can't trust them.
You can't trust Netanyahu either.
Well,
he was bombing off during the negotiation.
The thing that from Netanyahu, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. You're getting an over response. There's nothing that's been hidden. You might not like the guy. You might hate his guts, but you know what you're getting.
Can't you say the same thing about Hamas? You know what you're getting?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
They didn't know that October 7th was coming.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
From what I could see,
they took away all the soldiers that were guarding the barrier?
Yes.
I don't know what...
members of the IDF have stated openly that they were advised that this attack was coming, and they had such a poor perspective that they thought those were aspirational threats and that they really couldn't pull it off.
I have a parallel to that on September 10th. What? Who's
I'm losing you guys. I'm going to have to sign off.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Sal.
Thank you.
There was this bodega in Brooklyn that was across the street from a mosque that was a converted supermarket. You know, like the old time Baptist church in Hamburg, that was a Tops or a Bell's, and they made it into a church. This was made into a mosque, and across the street was a Muslim owned, because the guy in there always smelled great, and he was always well shaved, and he was he looked really professional running a bodega selling sodas and chips. They got closed down on September 10th. That I don't know who closed them down, but my buddy was in Brooklyn. He said he saw it. They got don't know.
Tie this into the Hamas and the right-wing government
September
of Israel.
11th, 2001. September 10th, this guy's bodega got shut down. This Muslim guy's bodega got shut down.
And there's a connection?
You could see the World Trade Center from his store.
Oh, he went to 9/11. He's not talking about October 7th.
Yeah, I'm saying 9/11, 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where he went.
The day before. So that's the thing, too, that whatever... But I can tell you right now, we don't have any access to any intel. You know, that what we read is all functioned by what we see.
Yeah.
You know, what does it tell you about the government of Israel that they won't let reporters in?
That's Netanyahu being a prick. And that's why...
Doesn't it mean I don't want you to show what's really going on?
I will never say anything negative about Israel. I will never do that. And so you're never going to bait me into it. I never will.
You mean if I show you a lot of evidence, you're going to say, I don't care what the evidence says, I got my mind made up?
No, I want to see undoctored evidence, because if you get from the Hamas Health Authority, they say anybody that looked at a bomb blowing up was injured. That was a casualty.
So you actually want to go in person and see?
No, if I trust technology. That's what I'm saying. If I don't have to go, I don't have to actually do the Muslims can't predict when they're going to have their holidays, because 2 of 3 clerics have to actually see the moon. They have to see the full moon. They have to look at the full moon. They can't, like we predict Easter just by the calendar, and you can math that out when Easter's going to be for the next 1,000 years. The Muslims have to physically see the moon. So if it's cloudy, they can't actually say that it's happening.
So if I say to you, there's atrocities going on by the Israeli military in Gaza, you say, unless I can see video evidence of it, I'm not going to believe it.
Well, there's atrocities going on by Hamas, and you have a one-sided view, and so do I. But you know what?
No, we don't have a one-sided view.
Yeah,
no, we do not. It's been very clear that at least on October 7th, that that people were killed. We know that, and we know that subsequently, even though they have the dome, if you will, that some rockets made it somewhere. So maybe not the capacity of bomb dropping, but you certainly know that there have been injuries on both sides. It's just one has much greater capacity. So that's how that's going. I both sides of that fence are rotten as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
I disagree.
Because my comment is, if Israel wanted to genocide Gaza, they could do it in a week. If they're genociding, it's the worst genocide job. They should learn from the Rwandans and the Armenians how to kill a people.
Or they're doing.
Well, Rwanda has come back with a vengeance, so I won't go there with that one either.
I don't even know who's right and wrong, the Hutu and the Tutsi. I don't know who's after whom.
Well, what I can say is Rwanda has rebuilt itself. I don't know what it was like before.
I didn't say that it was related to October 7th. I'm listening to you, Celeste. I'm sorry. I'm all screwed up. But the thing about Africa is teeming with life, but also everything in Africa from viruses on up wants to kill you.
Yeah.
So if you can get by that, you're doing good.
Well, they're on the continent with all those countries in excess of 50. Some are doing well. They are conflict riddled, but so is, lots of South America and now certain parts of
the U.S.,
Eastern Europe, and these kinds of things. So
the only thing I wonder is, why is Botswana so well put together, surrounded by all sorts of conflict? Why does Botswana stay peaceful? I can't find an answer for this.
I don't know that much about Botswana, but I would bet the left is very strong in Botswana.
Because it's in Southeast Africa. It's not on the water, but I don't think it is. But it's north of South Africa.
Well, I'd have to do some research on that. I'm not willing to publicly state. I don't even have an opinion on that aside from evolving leadership and leadership that has, sustained, cultural and traditional perspectives that don't, promote that is the best way I can say. I'd have to look into that.
Paul has a point. What do you want, Paul?
I said I have a doctor's question.
Okay.
Oh, you mean a new
Ask the
topic?
doc.
Yeah, a new topic.
Shall we go? Shall we move on?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so this pertains to my latest visit to the cardiologist a few
Dr.
days
Hart?
ago. Yeah. Okay. So I go to see the doctor, and of course they let the PA look at me because the doctor's wherever. But so we're going over some things, and then we're talking about how much liquids do I drink, and she goes, well, you should be drinking about 80 ounces of water a day. I'm like, well, I drink 2 to 3 quarts, sometimes 4 quarts a day. And she looks at me and she goes, well, how many ounces is in a quart? And I go, are you you're really asking me you don't know how many ounces are in a quart? She goes, no. And I'm like, makes me wonder, do I need to be seeing this person?
Well,
like, how can it be a doctor and not know how many ounces?
Well, she's a PA, you say, so that...
it doesn't matter. You're in that profession. If you
no,
don't know how
I
many
get you.
ounces,
You say it's a little less than a liter.
Well, whatever, but then she'd lose her mind. How many milliliters are there in a liter? Or,
1,000.
Yeah, right.
Well,
but
I'll tell you something too. Do you know why?
that just blew my mind. That the person of that caliber. I mean, don't you ever bake? You don't know measurements. I mean,
Well,
it's just
right.
Listen to Canadian radio where they talk about pounds and grams and miles per
Right.
hour, but kilos, and they compose it all. But
Right.
do you know why European beers in the bottle are 11.2 ounces, and whereas they're 11.5 or 12 here? Because 11.2
because
times 3
it's-
makes a liter.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
So do you think Paul should be more forgiving?
Well, I would be concerned about who's treating me if they don't have that simple
Right.
knowledge.
I'm going to agree
Yeah.
with Paul.
Yeah.
well,
I'm totally
That
going
could
to
be
agree with
scary.
him.
That could be scary.
not to be too rude or intrusive, Paul, but do you have a history of congestive heart failure?
I've had a heart attack.
No, but congestive heart failure. Do you have trouble breathing because of fluid in your lungs because your heart can't pump it?
Well, that's what I was being checked out. I just had a nuclear stress test the other day.
Oh,
And
unclear
so-
medicine.
Yeah, well,
Unclear, that's
they're
our joke.
Unclear. Yeah,
Unclear.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I don't have a history of that. No, but I've been retaining water. I've got some other issues going on, but we just want to rule that out. They said the ejection, when the heart is pumping, and the ejection part of it is perfect, and blah blah blah, whatever. So my problem is my blood pressure's okay in all 3 positions, and my pulse is low. It's like 41, 42.
You're in Obama territory.
Yeah.
Well, that's either good or bad. It depends on.
Yeah, if you're an athlete and you have a pulse of
No,
45,
no.
Right, or
Yeah.
if you
Perfect,
infarct,
yeah.
if you infarct your SA node, you're gonna have a pulse like that. Or you get shot right in the heart. If you're a 20-year-old guy that gets shot in the chest, and you
Yeah.
live, you could need a pacemaker at 20 because they hit your SA node.
Now, I've known Paul for a long time,
60 years.
and 50.
Oh.
When he had his heart attack, and they came with the ambulance, and he goes into you were an ambulance attendant, so you know what's going on. They wheel him into the and the attendant says, "Don't worry. I have taken a lot of people in this ambulance who have had heart attacks, and none of them have died on me, and you won't be the first." Then, when he gets in the emergency room, he's looking up, and the people are all around him, and Paul starts to see, like, the lights are being dimmed lower and lower, and he hears one of the people say, "We're losing him, we're losing him." How's that for a near-death experience?
Well,
Oh my God.
well, the story's a little mixed up here. So I was feeling out of sorts, and I was thinking I'm having a heart attack, and of course I was. I drove myself to the emergency room. They did the EKG. They put me on the table, and as they were working on me, I felt I started seeing tunnel vision, gray.
Yeah, that's
And
hypotension.
the last thing I heard was the nurse saying, "Oh God, he's crashing," and that was lights out. The next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance going from Lockport to Buffalo General, and then in the ambulance ride, the guy's telling me, "Oh, I've never lost anybody in here from this, blah blah blah." I'm thinking to myself, whatever, I didn't even care at that point,
Right.
And so they go right from the ambulance to the right in for an operation, and in and out. I was, they put 2 stents in, and I was good to go.
Yeah, that time is heart, just like time is brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that because I could talk. I could talk about that whole kit and caboodle.
Right.
So Catholic confession, good idea or bad idea?
Paul's topic. You could show the graphic too, Tom.
I have thought about this. And what
You get 1 minute.
Okay, I thought that the Bible teaches that you should confess your sins to other believers. I don't believe all Catholic priests are believers.
Wow.
You can attest to that, Richard. What about at the seminary? How many of the guys left?
5.
Yeah.
5 people who taught me left the priesthood.
Yeah. The 2 priests that I knew in the 90s that were at Our Lady of Victory, both of them left the church. One guy became a financial advisor, but then now he's married to another guy and he's an Episcopal priest.
Okay.
So he really found his place.
I
But
guess.
Damien was he appealed to everybody. So, but Catholic confession, no, I think that God's folly is greater than man's wisdom, and I think confessing my sins to somebody else, I think that's fallacious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was raised
agree.
Catholic, and I have a little different opinion about that.
Oh, good. Let's hear
I'm
it.
not a practicing Catholic now.
Me neither.
We were raised, and during certain times of your life, that almost like free therapy in a way. If you got something on your mind or something that you did, you can go there. You can tell somebody. They don't know who you are, or I don't know. Maybe they do recognize you for you. Who knows? But you get it off your chest, and they tell you to go, do 8,000 Hail Marys or whatever.
Yeah.
But
How many could you do? Did you get to 8,000?
and that certainly was a facetious overstatement. But I think that's a quiet corner, depending on the person you are, where you can go, and especially if you're not sure of something, and put it on the table, or if you definitely know you did something, it gets rid of the cover up, if you will, and then you get sort of a false sense of
Freedom.
forgiveness or penance or whatever the case may be. So
What was Paul?
I would rather have that kind of a conversation with a stranger than someone who would impact my life in a different way.
So, did you have something, Paul?
Oh, so the reason for my little graphic there that I made, I was kind of curious about the gay community and someone who's very religious or very into the Catholic religion, knowing that they're committing the sin of being gay.
It's not a sin.
Would someone,
It is a sin.
Matter of opinion.
It is
1946
Being it is not the
version
same. Practicing
of the
it is.
Bible says it is. Before that, no. Depends on your translation and your interpretation. Also,
Yes.
Catholics aren't Christians. They believe in works over faith. True Christians believe in faith over works. So Catholics
Yes.
think they're
No,
Christian, but
no,
they're
no.
not.
True Christians don't, because faith without works is dead. So they want
Can I
both of them.
finish what I was saying?
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. So my question was, how does one deal with knowing that they're committing this sin, and how do they cope with dealing with the fact that, well, I'm gay, but I'm Catholic, but I'm committing a sin according to the Catholic religion. How do you deal with that?
Well, as a Christian, I will say you can't serve the Lord and continue to sin. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Catholic faith,
that's a dilemma.
I can't speak on Catholic faith, but I mean, you have to give up one to do the other.
I got an answer.
Right.
You become a priest.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Let me say this. And I don't know, this is part of, the mythology of the world that goes around. As a person who was raised Catholic, we were taught to believe in God the Father, the Holy Trinity, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
The tripartite Godhead. The Father
Right.
is not the
So, you know
Son,
what
is
I'm
not
saying?
the Holy Spirit. Is God, is God, is God.
Right. And these whole things about, what's a sin and what's not a sin, everybody on this thing right here is living in some kind of sin.
Sure.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
According to King James, who, by the way, was gay. So, he put it together, but that's that. So there are so many doctrines that are omitted. There must be 1,000 versions of the Christian Bible. So
I was just wondering
Maybe
how
more.
a person deals with that dilemma that is in that position.
because you believe in God, we're all God's children. If you believe in God, then everybody is God's children. I'm God's child.
No, I get
And
that.
all the rest
but
of that.
I'm saying
If you're gay,
How do you
then-
live with the part of the Bible that you violate?
Well, if
Yeah,
you put-
everyone violates
but
the
hope,
Bible.
but knowing
If you believe in God, God is almighty and all things, no matter who you are.
knowing that you're violating, you're just simply not serving God.
That's
mean,
yeah. So how do you practice what
so
you preach?
exactly. So Paul, so you have to either give up one to do the other, or
But what are
know
you
I'm
going to
saying?
give up in terms of?
I'm going to follow Christ, and I'm not going to be gay and sin. However,
There's other ways to sin.
But I fall
if
short.
you're gonna look at it
Yes,
from a
because
biblical
I fall
perspective.
short of the glory of God. So of course I'm going to sin.
Okay, the last comment, because we got to keep moving on. There's a movie from 1984. It was called Heaven Help Us with Patrick Dempsey and the Bunny. The short story is there's a Brooklyn Catholic school in the 60s. And the boys are all in line doing confession. And the one goes in there, and then the priest comes out and grabs a kid out of the confessional, takes him by his ears, drags him and said, I was just kidding. So whatever he confessed was too bad for the priest to hear.
Yeah.
So that's our next topic. Vanessa,
yeah, I knew-
see yourself in the whole Trinity.
Hey, I didn't get to address this past topic. You know,
Vanessa sees.
well, I just forgot what I was going to say because
Well,
I got interrupted.
I think you
but-
meant-
Oh, okay. Oh, you got interrupted.
Oh, yeah, I got interrupted. That's not very nice.
Yeah, so you're really experienced at that. So,
I'm experienced like Jimi Hendrix.
I'm liking
you?
those red beads, Vanessa.
Thank you.
so what is this whole Trinity?
I don't know. Richard's trying to stir something up, I think.
Holy, I think
It should be holy.
Oh, Holy Trinity.
The whole Trinity.
The tribune.
Triune? Triune. Yeah, a Tribune is either a ship in my game or
yes,
it's
I know. I meant.
or
you
it's
know what I
the
meant.
That's more personal stuff I was
the
discussing.
Silver
that
Surfer.
I
Okay.
don't really think we should bother getting into it.
Okay, well, that you don't get away with that, but you will this time,
Right.
Because you opened the door. That's
I
what they
didn't
say
open
in
the door.
court.
He did.
Escapist entertainment, good idea or bad? Dude, that's simple.
I mean,
of course.
It's good.
We talked
Yeah.
about this. Anything to distract. If I can get out of self, whether it be reading the Bible or a book or a movie, whatever, anything to get out of self for a little while.
It's great. Like I said, it helps your brain. It's like good for you.
Wow.
what's it,
I'm dissenting opinion on
I
this one.
think it depends on exactly specifically what it is, because the definition according to the dictionary includes ideas, video games, movies,
Pong.
anything you can think of to be escape. And some escape is good and some escape is bad.
Hey, you know what's the best escape? Journey escape.
No,
Don't stop believing.
That it was like what Joel said. If you actually lose track of the time when you're reading, that's the right way to be. You know, if you lose yourself in the book and you don't know the time, that's the escapism. That's what you need.
Hey, you know what's the best damn thing ever for escapism?
Not you.
Not me, no. K-pop videos. Oh, they're great.
No, they're not.
They are.
boy.
They're superb.
No, that's a road that stops like right there. That doesn't even have.
Hey,
So-
but you
so
haven't watched enough of them.
The counter argument is that everything that you experience, movies, video games, everything like that, it affects the way you see the world. And if you choose to escape with something that is harmful for your mind, it will have an effect on you. Just like people who play a lot of video games,
and then go
Hear
kill
about
other
school
students. Yeah.
shooting.
No, it improves your reflexes and makes you better at stuff. I
And
don't
they
buy
prove that for general surgeons.
No.
General surgeons that were gamers are better at their tactics, and they can use
Video games are
the
great.
robotic surgery too.
I think the act of playing a game and absorbing the content of the game are two different things. Certainly, managing a pedal or a joystick or whatever will increase dexterity. But if you're, trash in, trash out in terms of content,
I agree.
and it does do a lot of desensitizing of issues, and it does.
Flying remote controlled planes and drones is great for
Yes, yes.
dexterity,
Very much
your
so.
mind and coordination.
Very
and,
much so.
you know.
Yeah. So
Remember the video games like Custer's Revenge and Bachelor Party?
No, I have a friend that is a video game expert. He wrote books on it. He teaches classes on it, and those games are niche, and they didn't
They're
get wide.
great. I have some. I have the actual cartridges.
I just aspirated a piece of cherry.
Oh, you're gonna choke to death. Oh no!
There it is.
Prepare to meet Jesus.
The Custer's Revenge was a homebrew.
No, it was an Atari game. Like
It was made for
Mystique
Atari.
put it out.
wasn't,
Yeah.
but it wasn't made.
No, it was actually manufactured. I have it. I have it in the box and everything. That was sold through stores. They had it at L&M Electronics in North Tonawanda.
But they didn't. But the short story was you were.
It wasn't made by Atari themselves. It was a third-party company.
Right, we got
Yeah.
that done. We got
Okay,
that.
yeah.
But the thesis was you're a guy that has to screw Native American women.
You're General Custer.
Yeah, and it's garbage. It's programmed very
Wow.
poorly, and it's just crap.
Now there's
What about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cartridge? That's a fucking
That
gem.
sounds terrible.
There's a video game now called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
old
Yes.
now.
You get
That's old.
points.
That's like 500 years old.
You get points in that game if you hit a prostitute with your car. You
yes.
get more points if you stop and beat her up.
Yes.
Don't you think that's affecting people's minds?
And it's
It does.
weird.
It does.
And it's crazy because if you go on YouTube or Scoops or whatever, there's people imitating this in real life.
Yes.
Like pulling over, beating people, they're going to jail.
I saw that on an
They're
episode of
filming
FBI,
it.
but I didn't see that in reality.
Yeah, it's YouTube won't
Yes.
show it, but if you go on Scoops, which is like the non-censored YouTube, you'll see it. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, go on Scoops
Not
app, you'll
allowed.
see
And
it.
it's not allowed within 10 miles of my house.
Yeah.
And there have been enough
I've never played because I
Sports,
didn't want
if
to be
you will.
influenced like that.
Well,
about the detrimental impact. We have to understand, the brain is a malleable thing. I'm sure the doctor knows this, and is capable of absorbing and interpreting information in a lot of different ways. And, behavior modification can be happening at a variety of levels. And that projects a certain kind of behavior as acceptable and rewarding. And depending on where you are in the vulnerability scale, you're going to roll with it. It's like what's happening now.
little
Some sort of a
messages
mob
are in
thing.
there.
well,
Yeah, Paul, I agree.
I played GTA 15 years ago, but the best thing about it was the soundtrack.
Sure.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was great because they would have radio stations in the game.
Yeah.
But the bumpers were great, like KDST.
Yeah.
Here on dust.
Yeah.
And that's just what the guy says.
So, Jason, do you think that your playing of Grand Theft Auto has anything to do with your contempt for the people of Gaza?
No, I really don't put them together because
Okay.
I can't even remember what computer I had. It didn't. Whatever I was doing, I was I was living in Hawaii then. I had much more fun playing Hot Pursuit. Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit.
Oh, yeah.
And I only played on the cop side. That was the only
That was the
game.
best.
That was the only Hot Pursuit or Need for Speed that had a police option. I only
Yep.
played the police.
So, during the war in Afghanistan, the U.S. military contacted gaming companies and
Yes.
said, we want to hire you to make a game for our privates that we bring out of boot camp. And they
Yes.
play this game of them killing Arab people in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Well, that was a commercial for SOCOM 2 because
Yes.
these guys are playing remote and said, "Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead," and then it flips to the other side. It's all these SEALs that are in a tent saying, they're real SEALs playing the game.
So the U.S. military is aware that these games affect people's minds because they have to
It's a
train.
desensitization tool.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have to train soldiers to kill without conscience.
Well,
Yes.
it's like
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer said, you never forget your first one, but once the first one is down, and so yeah, that's the thing, because why was it easier for American guys to kill Vietnamese than Germans.
Because they didn't look like
they
them.
didn't look like
'Cause
us.
they didn't look like, yeah.
And that's when you don't look the same, it's easier because all
You
those
try to
white guys
vilify
all look the same to me.
enemy. You try to vilify the enemy, and that's the whole point of Christianity is to not do
That's
that.
the whole point of warfare.
Not to do that.
Okay, so what is this? Can we move on?
If you wish.
Yeah. Well, who's I am seeing the world differently? Well, that could be either psychosis or drunk, or
It could be a natural progression from day to day, or week to week, or month to month, or year to year.
I like mushrooms.
So that is from a new book that just came out this week by basketball star Allen Iverson.
Oh, okay.
And he's often asked, because you go on tour, you go on
Yeah.
all the shows, inevitably someone will say, what is the thing you write about in your autobiography that has the most meaning for you? And you know what he said? He said, quitting alcohol. He said, when I quit alcohol, I started to see the world differently. And he said, once I did that, I didn't want to go back to that world of being an alcohol. So that made me realize something, that
said earlier.
if you have an addiction to alcohol, or to put it more metaphorically, the pill, the bottle, or the powder, all right? It's going to affect the way you see the world, and then you're going to find a way to self-justify your behavior. And I would even extend that to people who have a caffeine and a nicotine addiction.
I agree.
You're going to it's going to change your ideology, and you're going to justify it somehow.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
something.
I agree.
Coming from a long history of addiction, before I got into recovery, everything was about survival. Everything was about survival, or finding ways and means to get more. Okay. Now, I've been sober, a while now, but making that change of the alcoholic mind, sure, the substance is irrelevant. Drugs or alcohol, it's still an alcoholic mind. If you read on if you're going off the literature, once the alcoholic mind can be stopped and arrested, and then you have room to make change, then you see the world differently. I did. I see the world differently. I didn't see friends. I didn't see loved ones, family as trusted people, and now today they're the most important people in my life. Sale is very important in my life.
Well, what are the two things at every Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? A full ashtray and an empty coffee pot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Caffeine.
that
Absolutely. Like I said, for me, it wasn't just. It's all about. It's the the substance was irrelevant. It was the mindset of
Yes.
that substance was. I was chained to.
yeah.
It was all about. And see, I don't consider myself as maintaining sobriety. I just live a whole new freedom. I've been redeemed. I've been set free. I don't maintain sobriety. I just live a new life today.
Okay, we have 2.5 minutes left, so I appreciate your point,
Sure.
Brian. So we got, and we did that. Oh, restricting children from social media. So in the last 2.5 minutes, do you have anything, Vanessa? You get 30 seconds.
I get 30 seconds.
Yeah, now you have
Now I can't think.
20 seconds.
You-
Richard.
The Wilhelm screen.
Yeah, that was from the movie. That was from 1954, I believe. 51?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was like Apache
For the
something.
people who don't know what you know, can I explain it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, explain.
Okay, so in the as you know, Bing Crosby, he used to have the highest rated radio show in America.
Oh, it turned red.
Okay, and
20 seconds.
and so he
Excited.
said to the people who run the show, he said, "I am sick of having to sing the same songs every week or every other week." He said, "I have heard that in Germany they are developing this high quality reel to reel tape where you can't tell the difference between that and real life." And they said, "Bullshit." And he said, "I'll prove it to you." And he went to Germany. He talked to the Ampex people, and he said, "Give me
Ampex
something.
was in America. They weren't Ampex people in Germany.
Give me something that I can show to the people at the radio station." So he went and he put a symphony orchestra behind a curtain, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you, are you listening to the orchestra or the tape of the orchestra?" and they played, and they all said, "Yeah, that's the orchestra." And then it comes up, and it's the real playing.
Yeah, yeah.
That
They
would have
said-
probably been the
they
Tony
said,
Funkin' people.
"You got it. You could record your songs on reel to reel, and then all you have to do is do the intro live." And he said, and then play the tape. So they
Yeah.
did that for a while. Then finally, Big Crosby said, I'm just going to do the whole show. They said, but what about the people? He said, we have sound effects of people applauding and laughing and everything.
The Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not going to make it to the end.
Oh, well, so you're going to save that for next week because,
If you like, I'll do that.
yeah, because Lucas puts the Wilhelm scream in every movie that he is. And once you hear it, you can never unhear it. So,
So I hope everybody watching has a great day.
15 seconds. What do you got?
Thanks for having me. See you next week.
10
I wanna
seconds. What do you got?
I thank everyone for showing up today, and please continue with your comments. We'll read them after the show. And thank you for being here.
Kenny, you
Yes,
got
peace
anything?
and
bud?
blessings, love and light.
Okay, well, in the last 10 seconds as we count down, I'm
Don't
waiting for...
ask Paul and Celeste.
Oh, Paul Celeste, you
what
have
am I,
5
the wrong
seconds. Anything to
color
say?
or what?
No, I just said, I'm just wishing
I
you
release
peace and
you to go
blessings,
and have
love
a
and
great
light.
day.
Yeah.